Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Excuse me one moment. I didn't realize I did this. I know. Been a while since. It feels like it's been a while since I wore these, so I'm going with these today. But how is everybody? How is everyone? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Oops, sorry. I'm a hot mess right now, aren't I? Anyways. Still recovering from the whatever it was I was going through yesterday. So, happy Friday. Y'all made it to Friday. It is Friday. I'm just going to recap. And for the next 2 months while we do this, I'll be recapping the gratitude for the week. So, day one's gratitude, which was Monday, was from Zig Ziglar. Gratitude is the healthiest of the human emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have even more to be grateful for. Or you will have even more to express gratitude for. Number 2 was, there are only 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is though everything is a miracle. Albert Einstein. And yesterday's was, at times, our own light goes out, and it is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. Albert Schweitzer. So those were the gratitude for Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And now, let's jump into Oracle Friday. So I got the Magical Fairies, the New Orleans deck again, because I love that deck. The Enchanted Unicorn, and of course our Angel Answers to start out with. So, let's get rolling. A few things, and I still have not written this stuff down. You would think by now I would just get wise and write it down. But number 1, don't worry about where the message is coming from. Focus on the message, okay? If you don't believe in angels, focus on the message. If you don't believe in fairies, focus on the message. If you don't believe in unicorns, just focus on the message. You get the point, right? Right. Don't worry about where it's coming from. Just focus on what it's telling you. All right. So, let's see. Number 2, if a card does not resonate with you, but you want it really badly, please do not force it, because that will just cause you to overthink. It'll cause you to worry. It'll stress you out. And sometimes it makes you not believe anymore, because you're like, well, that card came up and nothing happened. Well, if it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you. And that's not meant to be mean, but everything happens in layers. Okay. Everything happens in layers. In fact, yesterday, I had a part of my anxiety yesterday was just trusting that things work out. And, sometimes it's hard when you're in a very, weird situation in your life, when you're not sure where you're going. You know exactly where you've been, but you're not sure how anything is going to progress forward. And then for me, I do believe in angels, and I don't believe in the ones that we learn about growing up. I believe that there might be those, but that they're also very, almost just like human beings, except they have gifts. And one of the main gifts is that they trust and they believe and they have faith. And yesterday, I think I named that the Trinity of Trust. But 2 cars passed me on the freeway yesterday on my way home from seeing Jurassic World. Good morning, baby sibling. And they both said 997 on them. And so I tried to remember, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's like 2 cars just passed me with the same last 3 numbers. And I'm a numbers person, so I thought, I need to look that up when I get home. And because I was driving, obviously. So I walk in the door, totally forgot about the numbers already. I walk in the door, I see 707, because for some reason, there's like 4 clocks in the kitchen. 1 stove, microwave, toaster oven, and then we have an Echo Show in the kitchen. A sibling put it in there. So it's just like, which is, a number that corresponds to my mom. Okay. So it's like, hi mom, I still forgot. Finally, when I looked it up, it was talking about letting old habits go, letting this, that, and the other go. And basically it was reminding me to trust that when you look for the signs and you believe in things and you trust that everything's going to work out, things actually do start to work out. So, but it also told me about layers. And yesterday I talked about how in this particular number it said how everything comes in layers, and things that come to you that don't make sense now might make sense later. And that's kind of what the readings are. If it doesn't resonate with you, it's just not meant for you now. That doesn't mean it won't happen. What it means is that right now you're in a different phase of whatever it is that you're trying to get through or learn, whether you realize you're learning or not, and that it's just not time yet. And it was like I was talking about yesterday to everybody who was in for day 3 of gratitude. There was this weird dream I had, this word that was spelled out that looked like archipet. When it was spelled out, for 4 years and 5 months, I was trying to figure this word out. And I mean, not consistently, okay? It's not like I spent every single waking moment on it. But every so often when I'd go through my notes, I would see this. And it's like, oh yeah, forgot about that. Then I'd spend half a day trying to figure out what it meant. And then at the very right time, it finally dawned on me, right? Because it was meant to dawn on me now, to write it out instead of just trying to decide what it meant in the notes itself, which is on my phone. So it's not actually physically writing it, right? It's just typing it into something. So I physically wrote it out, and then all of a sudden it said chapter I, so chapter 1, right? Roman numeral 1 said chapter 1. And I realized it's a new start. It's the new beginning. That everything that I've worked for, everything that I've done to try to heal has finally gotten there. Now, let me explain for people, because, I know I get sidetracked on certain things, but to me, it really all kind of ties together with this, because I want people to understand why I tell them not to force it if it does not resonate. For me, my healing doesn't mean that I'm 1,000% better. I don't know why that went off. What it means is that I have the tools now to get through what I need to get through. Yesterday when I was doing the perspective, I was so high anxiety. You could tell I was talking super fast. I felt nervous the whole time. And usually I don't anymore when I do these. It's just kind of natural to me now. But I felt nervous. I felt agitated. I felt kind of really wound up. And afterwards I took time, because it was one of the tools that I need. I did what I said to do on Wednesdays with the mindfulness and everything, and it worked. So again, if these cards don't resonate with you, don't force it. All right. Just keep coming back, or keep going to wherever you go to get your messages from. And one day when it's time for you, it will resonate. Also, if you're not sure if it resonates with you or not, it means you might almost be there, but hold it in the back of your head, because it may make sense sooner, possibly later, but probably somewhere in between that, right? And thirdly, when I read, I give you my perspective on the card itself, but also since somebody took the time to write a book to go with it, I will also read what the book says. And sometimes they run the definitions or the reading itself run into each other between my thoughts or what I'm getting in and the book. And sometimes they might be completely different. So, I tap into spirit. For those who are curious, it's usually Archangel Gabriel. Again, if it's not your wheelhouse, don't worry about where the messages are coming from. There could be other people here yammering in my ear, giving me messages, sometimes for specific people. So, all right, let's start. Let's get popping. Improving health. So if you haven't been feeling well, this is what I'm getting. If you haven't been feeling well, you're going to start getting better. But improving health isn't just about physical, it's about mental as well. A lot of times we focus so much on our physical well-being, we forget about our mental well-being. So whatever you're doing, don't forget to take care of your body and your mind, okay? And that will help take care of your soul. But also, like I said, if you have not been feeling well, or you've been fighting something, or maybe you've been getting sick, or maybe you're battling something, really bad right now, this could be your sign that your health is improving. Okay, so, and again, could be your mental health. Maybe you've been in this mental struggle and you're like, God, am I ever going to come out of this? This is your sign letting you know that yes, it will, it will come to a head and you will figure it out. So, the angels want you to know that the health of the person you asked about is going to improve. You can request the assistance of Archangel Raphael and your guardian angels to speed along the recovery. Just so you know, angels are non-denominational. And I know there will be a lot of people out there who like to read a very specific book that will tell you that's not true, but it is. And you don't have to take my word for it, but I promise you, angels are non-denominational. They are there to serve, whether you believe in a higher power or not. And not serve you like, hi, they're your servant. I mean to help you and guide you. And Archangel Raphael is actually the patron angel, or the archangel of medicine, of doctors. So, and, medical people. I don't want to just exclude everybody. So he's the archangel of the health industry. How about that? So you can request the assistance of Archangel Raphael and your guardian angels to speed along the recovery. This card may also be urging you to make more healthful choices in your life. I felt that when I pulled that card. If you're feeling called to detox from harmful foods or substances, you should follow that guidance. Removing unhealthy practices from your life will make you feel vibrant and strong. See, I'm feeling heard because I was thinking about that this morning. That's right. So there you go. Improving health. Remember, you're going to start getting better. The angels have heard you, your higher power, your source, whoever you turn your focus to, they have heard you and they're listening. Now remember, I mentioned this earlier in the week, we are not always going to have a scenario where the person we're praying for will make a recovery. Sometimes it's just not meant to happen. That doesn't make it easier. I'm not trying to tell you, oh, they're in a better place, okay? Because I've heard that before. I've had people tell me that they're in a better place. I'm sure they are. I mean, right now, any place can be better than Earth. But, so much anger on this planet. But to me, their perfect place would have been with me. Or my family. Or my case, my dad and me. Or, Sissy and her family. But, her and us, our little soul sister trio. So, just tread lightly when you say that to people. Just read the room. Okay, read the room. If you're in a religious setting, it might be a helpful reminder, but read the room because, the way that we think or you think may not be something that other people share. And sometimes they just may not be ready for that. Okay, so meditation brings answers. Oh my God, it does. So I decided to meditate the other day. And I was talking to a higher power, and don't laugh, but it felt like when I was meditating and I was going through all these different avatars, right, to talk to my higher power. And I shit you not, I was trying to find something that would resonate. Yeah. So, that I would feel comfortable just sitting in my meadow under my tree talking to. Look like Morgan Freeman. So I told Sibling last night, I said, because I was watching Field of Dreams, and I told her, I said, do you think God sounds like James Earl Jones when he's mad? And I don't mean that in a mean way, because James Earl Jones has a very amazing voice, and I'm so excited that he's back as, Darth Vader's voice. But, sorry, spoiler alert, but we're already in episode 4 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, so not my fault if you haven't noticed. And I didn't mean that in a mean way. But, to me, it's like you see all these shows, right? And like Morgan Freeman plays God every so often. But James Earl Jones just said something last night in the movie. And I was just like, I wonder if that's what God sounds like when he's angry. I know. I told you I'm a polytheist. I have a lot of different deities that sit at my table. But that's my number one. Okay, that's what I grew up with. And that's what's familiar and comfortable for me. So... and like I said, no disrespect to James Earl Jones. He's just got a very commanding, powerful, amazing voice. I could listen to those two talk all day long. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing if they just did like a one-on-one conversation for an hour? I'd probably never get through it because I'd be so mellow I'd fall asleep. So anyway, I'm sorry, sidetracking. Meditation brings answers. Here's my take on why meditation brings answers, and it's the textbook take on this. Meditation is about, for me, in my perspective, but I've learned it from other people, so quite a few people's perspectives. Meditation is about uncluttering your mind. It's about quieting the chatter, quieting those voices, quieting everything that's just trying to get a piece of you for a moment or for lots of moments. And it can be stressful. It could be, yeah, that's right. Sibling said, yeah, but you saw him as Morgan Freeman. And I did. The avatar actually stopped on Morgan Freeman. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. But it's because I got a different message from Spirit that says you need to meditate to get some clarity. But sometimes it's, for me, visuals are a big thing. And I felt like I had a very good conversation. You can think I'm nuts. I don't care. I am as sane as I'm ever going to be. But, it's about finding that clarity. And sometimes the clarity is just the quietness. It allows if you have a higher power, it allows them to talk to you. If you don't have a higher power, it allows your spidey instincts to talk to you. It allows the answers to come up. And sometimes the answers are right in us. But, it's like peeling a banana. And you know what? I don't know what it is and what I'm doing wrong. But there are times when I peel a banana and everything splits down the front. Instead of from the top. So you can peel it. So I end up opening it like some weird, pouch instead of, peeling the banana. And that's going to happen sometimes, but that's what I'm talking about. I know that's like a weird metaphor, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, you're not always going to get the answers the way you think you're going to get them. You're not always just going to peel things back and get to the banana, right? Sometimes it's going to be an onion. Sometimes it's going to be a cucumber that you got to work hard to peel, right? Or an orange. Oranges aren't always that easy to peel. And they actually make, older sibling has a tool that helps start to peel the orange. And sometimes that's what we also need. We need help along that way to peel back these layers, to peel back, the cover of what we're trying to get to. And that's what meditation does. Meditation brings you answers because you're quieting everything. And quieting everything is basically pulling back the layers so that you can see the inside, so you can get to the meat of the fruit that you're trying to get to. And you can feed yourself with some knowledge. So, it may not always make sense to you at first. Not always the easiest thing to do. But that's why I said on Wednesday, start practicing, even just mindfulness. If you need to take a few breaths, think of a place, one or two only if you're starting, that, would make you smile if you were there. That would make you completely content and happy if you were there. Mine is a meadow with tall flowers and grass and a big shade tree, or the beach. I know, or the beach. You're just kind of, I don't know, the beach. Because I do love the waves. I do love the sound of the waves, but I also like the sound of the wind when it blows through trees and through the grass and through the flowers. It's just got this very subtle, beautiful sound to it. Just like the ocean. Some people think, oh, it's too loud. But sometimes when you stop and just listen to the rhythm of it, it's so beautiful. So meditation does bring answers, okay? And meditation can also improve your health. That's right. I'm turning that into a story. Meditation can help improve your health because it helps you de-stress. Look for a sign. I just mentioned my sign earlier when I talked about getting the number 997. I think it's angelnumbers.com, but if you're curious about that, I'm going to try. I keep telling you guys I'm going to post this stuff in the comments and then I forget, but I'm going to try really, really hard to put 997 in the comments because it literally, the first paragraph hit me between the eyes. But look for a sign. Signs can come from anywhere. It could even actually literally be a sign, right? I mean, sometimes we're thinking, oh yeah, look for a sign, and then poof. There might be a car ad that has some random quote on it. on the freeway, or it could be like a movie that resonates with you, right? Or that you're really excited to see, and you're like, well, maybe I don't want to see it because I'm not feeling all that great. And then you might see the movie sign, or a big billboard, promoting it, and that's probably telling you go, because this is what you need. You need to get out of your head and get into your life a little bit, or you just need to go and have fun for a moment. Yesterday we went to go see Jurassic World, and my humble opinion only, it's not getting the greatest reviews. I loved it. I 100% loved it. But here's the deal. It's a blockbuster-like movie. In fact, there's this one girl on TikTok. I can't remember her name. I think it's like This Is Savvy or something like that. But she says if I wanted to see a masterful art piece, I'd wait for Oscar season. Right? These are blockbusters. They're there for a fun ride. They're there for, a couple of hours of entertainment to kind of bring you on a journey. And in this case, it's the end of a journey. And no, that's not a spoiler alert. Universal has specifically said this movie is ending the franchise. Okay, this movie is ending the franchise. So, if it's your thing, if you've invested yourself in all the other Jurassic Park movies, just go see it. Just go see it. I loved it. I mean, like I said, I loved it, but I will tell you my secret as to why, just really quick. 1 billion years ago, when Forrest Gump first came out, I didn't get to see it right away. This isn't the days where there were like 5 bazillion movie theaters everywhere with like 20 theaters each. They existed, but I just hadn't gotten around to seeing it yet. So I'd heard all the hype. Oh, Shelly, you got to go see it. It was so great. It was so awesome. You're going to love it. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. It's Tom Hanks. Blah, blah, blah. I hated it the first time I saw it. It was nothing like I expected it to be. It wasn't that great to me in the eyes that, I went in with, because people kept telling me, oh, it's so fabulous. You're going to love it. I did not like it. I absolutely did not like that movie. I walked out. My boyfriend at the time was like, oh man, that was so good. And I'm like, he's like, what'd you think? I'm like, I didn't like it. And even he was surprised, like, what? And I was like, yeah, I don't know why. I didn't like it. But about a year or two later, it was on TV. Or it was either on TV or my dad gave me the videotape. I can't remember which videotape, right? I know. I can't remember which it was, but I thought, well, I think he actually let me borrow it. So he's like, just watch it, try it again. It's like, oh, fine. It's like 2 hours of my life. So I did. And I loved it. Because I went in with zero expectations. And to be honest with you, that's what I do now. There are always going to be reviews out there. There's always going to be people telling you that it's not worth your money. It's not worth doing this, that, or the other. That's one person's opinion. And yeah, there might be a lot of people that'll say the same things. That will say the same things. But you don't know what you're missing, okay? Because it happened again with the Blair Witch Project. I was actually looking forward to it. I was kind of curious about it. And a different boyfriend of mine at the time, we both went to see it. And I shit you not, we almost walked out. I tried watching it again. To this day, I still don't like that movie. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like it. It has a very big cult following. I just didn't like it. It wasn't scary to me, which was fine. But it was just kind of like, okay. The scariest part to me was getting lost in the woods. I would be horrified if I got lost in the woods. Which I think was part of the point. But it's just kind of like, okay. And I went in with zero expectations. So that, anyway, I don't want to badmouth movies because people love their movies, but all I'm saying is, even if you don't like it, you can at least form your own opinion. And if you love it, then you should be glad you didn't listen to the reviews. One thing my father always taught me, the worse the reviews are, definitely go see it. So anyways, but look for a sign. I know that had nothing to do with it, guys. I think I'm still at the end of my anxiety. But look for a sign. Signs come from everywhere. Okay? Within the next few weeks. I don't know what that means, but if you're waiting for something to happen, it's going to happen within the next few weeks. Okay? And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to read the book on these. So meditation brings answers. Let's read that one first. Trying to come up with an intellectual answer to your concerns hasn't been successful. That's because the solutions you seek can only be found by going within, through meditation or inner spiritual work. You may also gather insights from your nighttime dreams as your subconscious creates solutions for you that are not available to your waking mind. Let me try that again. Trying to come up with an intellectual answer to your concerns hasn't been successful. That's because the solutions you seek can only be found by going within through meditation or inner spiritual work. You may also gather insights from your nighttime dreams as your subconscious creates solutions for you that are not available to your waking mind. And that's like the dream I told you I had that ended up spelling out chapter 1 like 4.5 years later. So go in to find clarity, to find those answers. Excuse me. Look for a sign. Your angels, higher power, or source have a very special and specific answer to your question. You can expect to see signs right away that will have deep meaning to you. Many people see white feathers to indicate that their angels are with them, or they may smell scents from their childhood that they connect with a family member. Signs require focused attention, so be awake to the possibilities. Don't mistake synchronistic events for mere coincidences at this time. They are a message especially designed for you. Those 2 cars, me catching their license plate, both ending in 997, that was synchronicity. That wasn't a coincidence. And I kid you not, they both, like, one went by, and then as the other one was, right at the edge of, like, I was at the edge of their bumper going by, another one came by, and they both zoomed by. And I somehow caught their license plates, so those are the signs they're talking about. And when it says, that it requires focused attention, what it means is that small things could mean something to you. Say you're thinking about somebody and like somebody's candy wrapper goes blowing by. It could be the favorite wrapper, or it could be the favorite candy of the person you're thinking of, which is a sign that, if they're alive, maybe they're thinking of you too, so reach out. Or if they've passed on, it could be them saying hello or saying, hey, everything's going to be okay. I feel like when I walked into the house last night, it said 7:07 on 4 clocks. I don't normally notice the clocks on all 4 of them. I usually notice one. But, and that's the most prominent one. But I felt like my mom was telling me, don't forget to look up that number. So, don't be ashamed of looking at signs. You don't have to tell everybody if it's not something you're comfortable with. But just stay open to the possibility that anything could be a sign. Anything. Okay? But don't force things to be a sign. If it resonates with you, then it resonates with you. So within a few weeks, whatever you're asking for, this probably means it's going to happen within a few weeks. So if this card feels like it's hitting you between the eyes, then, brace yourselves, because whatever it is you're waiting for is about to happen. So, within the next few weeks, what you asked about will happen this month or soon thereafter. Your patience is rewarded. Oh, that's exciting. And the last one, forgiveness. Forgiveness. Sometimes in order to achieve all of these, you have to have forgiveness in your life. It doesn't mean, I know we talked about this earlier in the week, it doesn't mean you have to invite people that you're forgiving back into your life. Forgiving someone that's no longer in your life is more for your peace of mind than to let them off the hook, because you're not letting them off the hook. And that the proof is in the pudding when you decide that, I forgive you, but I don't want you in my life, because you do not add anything to it. You only remove things. But forgiving that person is like cutting a very negative cord. It's about letting go and moving forward with your own life. Or forgiveness could be, maybe you have a tete-a-tete with somebody that you really need to talk to, and you want to get things on the table, and who knows where it can progress from there. The forgiving them may help them to change, or it may not, but that's where you can decide, do you walk away, do you not? And, forgiveness can also be about, petty things. Sometimes we get mad at just the most ridiculous things. Maybe we're mad at something else, and then someone crosses our paths, and we just unleash on them. You may also need to be the one that is forgiven. So if you need forgiveness from somebody, don't be afraid to ask, but also be prepared for them maybe not being ready or even able to give you that. But most importantly, even if you don't get that from the person, forgive yourself. If there are things that you've done in life that you regret, forgive yourself. This is how you get, well, maybe not so much the next few weeks, but this is how you learn to look for signs, because you know you're worthy. This is how you are able to get inside and meditate to bring you the right answers. This is how you improve your health. And believe it or not, forgiveness is a big thing. A lot of times we carry so much anger and pain and all this other crap inside of us that, we forget how important we are in our lives. Remember, the one person you are going to spend every single moment with in your life is you. So be grateful for yourself. Forgive yourself for whatever needs to be forgiven. Let's see. Forgiveness can work miracles. Forgiveness can work miracles. When you release the past, a weight is lifted from your shoulders and a sense of freedom washes over you. Ask your angels to help you let go of sadness or pain caused by others so that you can be free. This card can also refer to a need for self-forgiveness. It's time to let go of any guilt you are holding on to regarding past mistakes you may have made. Give yourself credit for having tried your best, even if the results weren't what you would have liked. Clearly, I need to forgive myself for something. Give yourself credit for having tried your best, even if the results weren't what you would have liked. Focus on the changes you've made since then that have made you a better person. If you've worked really, really hard on being a better person, but you still haven't forgiven yourself, it's time. Okay? Can you change the past? No. If you have a time machine, please let me borrow it, because I would love to tour history. I love history. But unless you have a time machine, and then you can't go back and change things. But you can make amends for them. And if you can't make complete amends for them, and maybe it's something that you did, you can forgive yourself. I'm really feeling like this forgiveness card is more about self-forgiveness than anything else. So if you are holding on to stuff that you should no longer be holding on to, it's time to let it go. Let that shit go. Okay? Because it is not serving you, it's not serving anyone around you, and it's going to keep festering until you let it go. So, I just saw Siblings' comment. She said that, when we were talking about God earlier and how I see God, she sees him as George Burns. Anybody remember those movies? Oh God and Oh God Book 2. Those were pretty funny. It was like the early 80s. They were, they're dated. They're clearly dated. But they're good movies. They were pretty funny. George Burns was funny. So, anyways, let's see. Come on, what do you have to tell the tribe? Oh, there you go. Ask and you shall receive. Number 1, admit your true feelings. The vessel. The vessel. Most of the time I just do the book on these, you guys, because I don't always get everything that I'm supposed to get right away, but admit your true feelings. This could also go with the forgiveness card. You need to, whatever it is, like maybe you're feeling angsty about something, or maybe you're feeling wronged by someone. Admit your true feelings, but there's a way to do it so everybody doesn't get pissed off. Be very gentle and be very kind. Sometimes people don't realize they've done something, to hurt someone. Maybe they're just too open with other people. Maybe they're just too honest, or they think that they're helping you. And sometimes if you don't say just shut up and leave me the hell alone, but you say, you know what, please stop, because you may think that it's okay, but you keep stepping over the line. And I'm not ready for it. I'm not in that place where I'm okay with that. And they have to, whether they accept it or not, you don't need to hold on to something because you're afraid of hurting someone else's feelings. All right? You have every right to express your feelings. Sorry, I'm so distracted today. You have every right to admit your true feelings and to express them. Now, that could mean a lot of things, though. Admit your true feelings. Maybe there's a mutual connection with somebody, and I mean, like, the connection is strong, but both of you are afraid to do anything. So admit your true feelings. You never know what's going to happen unless you try, right? So, this unicorn offers assistance if you've been feeling obligated, less than, drained, or resentful. Perhaps someone is treating you badly. Oh, look at that. Perhaps someone is treating you badly and you keep making excuses for their behavior. Maybe you dislike someone or something you were supposed to like, and you have struggled with these feelings. Acknowledge them. In the privacy of your own mind, finally admit to yourself how you truly feel. No more trying to block negative thoughts and be the nice guy. No more holding the heavy burden of unpleasant emotions in this body, your human vessel. When you admit to these less than loving feelings, it opens up a space for healing. Maybe you feel that as a spiritual person, you must be caring and supportive of everyone, but this doesn't need to be at the expense of your own emotional health. Often, the most spiritual thing you can do is speak plainly and refuse to accept petty or demeaning behaviors. If you are in a situation you do not like, or around people that make you feel drained and upset, you are allowed to leave. No one person is more important than the other. You absolutely have the right to choose who to spend your time with. Okay? You have the choice of who you spend your time with. And, ooh, this might be my new favorite card. I've never seen this one before. Oh, this is a good body positivity card. Snacks. I love snacks. Snacks. Release judgments around food. Yeah. If you're struggling with body positivity, God, I feel like that one's aimed right at me. If you struggle with food, there has to be a balance. Okay, you may look at certain things and go, oh God, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. There are certain things that I have given up just because I know that they are a very slippery slope for me. And I decided to not just give them up cold turkey, because by doing that, I think it causes us to crave more. Especially, I'm a recovering emotional eater. And I say recovering because, like with anybody with an eating disorder, which emotional eating is actually designated as an eating disorder, when, there are slip-ups. There can be slip-ups, and like you have people who are in AA, right? With the drugs and alcohol and everything, and they are in recovery because every day is a potential to slip up. Or you can look at it and change the narrative into a positive way. Every day is a way to go without this vice that has just kind of haunted your life. So a lot of times it's hard, right? Especially if you're an emotional eater or do have an eating disorder, because we kind of need food to sustain us. But a lot of times we always reach for that comfort food. And for some people it's comfort food. For people like me, it's like, it's just so amazing. It's more than comforting. It is the one thing that you latch onto because it feels like it's the only thing that brings you joy. But then trying to break that habit and open yourself to different experiences and different possibilities and different ways of thinking about food isn't always that easy because there is a fear. My cardiologist has always told me, you don't have to give up anything if you learn moderation and portion control. He's all, that doesn't mean go off and eat fast food every single damn day. But what it means is that when you're able to get to a point where, you can have something and not constantly crave it over and over and over again, it makes it easier. And because we need food to sustain ourselves, try to replace things here and there. I've tried to make it a point to have some kind of fruit every day. I still have to have my fruit for today, but I picked up little tricks along the way. Baby sibling is very health conscious, and one time she sent me a picture of her snack. It was apples with peanut butter and just a teeny bit of dark chocolate chips mixed in with them. Oh my God. So I am an extra crunchy peanut butter kind of person, okay? And I had some apples the other day and I thought, oh yeah, that's right. Marie's done this. Put some chocolate chips in the peanut butter. It is an absolute game changer. I was craving sweets. I was craving candy. I was craving cake and cookies and all this stuff. And I'm PMSing, so it doesn't surprise me. And I thought, I can't have that. I need to try this. And boy, it killed my craving just like that. Plus, it was healthy. So, I actually think she does. I don't know if she uses peanut butter or not, almond butter, but whatever kind of butter, nut butter that you use, I really think this is what it's saying. Release the judgments you have on food. The more you have a healthy balance and respect for your food, the better it's probably going to be for you in the long run when it comes to making these decisions, when it comes to, not being afraid of eating anything. Look at that, opened right up to it. Of not being afraid of food. When we fear food, it's going to continue to cause anxiety. So just remember, you are in charge. And if you struggle with that, ask someone to help you. Not nitpick you. Okay, not tell you, well, you shouldn't be having that, or you shouldn't be having this, or you shouldn't be having that. I mean, there'll be a lot of people who may listen to this that say, well, that's terrible advice from a cardiologist. But my cardiologist knows me. And he knows that I am an emotional eater. And he knows that if he tells me no, quit cold turkey, that I'll just binge on it. And that's not what he wants for me. As he keeps telling me, or as he's told me in the past, you have to keep chipping away at the weight so the doctors don't have to, so the surgeons don't have to chip away at you. That is still one of my favorite quotes. You have to keep chipping away at the weight so the surgeons don't have to chip away at you. And I do, as you can see, have a repaired heart, and someday I'm going to need a new valve. My valve that I have now is a reconstructed valve. And I'm lucky and I'm fortunate that both of these things are working well inside of me, despite the stress I put on my body. But I have had a very unhealthy relationship with food. Think of, if you struggle with food and body positivity, think of it as, a relationship. How do you want this relationship to work? Be honest with your feelings. Admit your true feelings. Okay? So, this card appears when you or others around you have been judgmental about food choices. Be gentle on yourself. We live in challenging times where food has been demonized. Some food is considered good, and other food is deemed bad. And the types of food that are good and bad swap around. For example, avocados, butter, and eggs, once considered bad for you, are now thought of as superfoods. You can be forgiven for being confused. No one food is intrinsically good or bad. Everyone has the right to eat what they want when they want to. One of the great joys of this physical existence is delighting in the variety of delicious food and drink available on this abundant earth. The unicorn appears when you have been struggling with finding the right diet and nutrition, or labeling what you eat as right/wrong, creating feelings of guilt and resentment around food. There is a lot of information available about the perfect diet, but remember, one size does not fit all. What works for one person may be damaging to another. Check in with your inner guidance. What would you love to eat or cook? This is what your body wants. Let go of the ego and allow yourself to enjoy food without attaching any labels to it. So there you go. And that's the same with body positivity. Everyone says, oh, well, that person must be blah, blah, blah. I know people who may not seem as fit as other people, and they're not on any meds because they take care of themselves, but they also eat whatever they want. They maybe it's considered a treat to them, or I used to think, and even for myself, if I get to a certain weight, I'm going to reward myself with this meal. I don't do that anymore because that puts too much strain on me. That might work for other people, but reward systems don't work for me. Not as an emotional eater. And that doesn't mean all emotional eaters are built alike. We're all built differently. Each person is truly an individual in their own right. So what works for you, like it says, and this is one thing that I love about this card. I've said it a million times. What works for you may not work for somebody else. But even if somebody is telling you what worked for them, listen, because there might be something in there that you can take and use and, apply to your own life. Maybe the whole diet wouldn't work, but, something else might. I love protein shakes. I know it's weird, right? I used to think that was such a chore, and I used to look at them as being, nothing but work. But I don't always eat breakfast. on the weekdays. And so I do like a protein shake because I know I'm putting everything in it that it needs to go in it. And I enjoy them. Sometimes I'll replace my morning coffee with that just because I want something to sip while I'm sitting in my chair watching the morning news. So whatever works for you, but don't shame yourself, okay? Don't shame yourself for your cravings. Don't shame yourself for the food, but try to implement different things. Try to start, if you want to, do a complete lifestyle change, do it gradually. If you struggle with food, okay, do it gradually so that you don't go back. There's a fast food place that has two fast food places that have been the bane of my existence for I can't tell you how long. And I will tell you this. I had one last week, and actually I think on Monday, and I have not craved it since, which is surprising for me because it's my absolute favorite place. It would be like sometimes I would feel like I was dying if I wasn't allowed to have it. And there's another place that I haven't been to probably in almost 3 weeks. And these are two places that I never ever thought I would be able to give up. But that's because I was challenging myself. You make it through this amount of time and then see where you're at. And at one point I did crave it. And I did kind of go within myself and say, can I have this? And I got yes. And then another time I had stigmatized it so much. But it was actually an older sibling that said, hey, sometimes you got to face what scares you the most. And since that day that she told me that, I haven't craved it once. And the other thing, I told her, I said, you know what? This is the one last time I really, really want this because I've been craving it for months and months and months. And I had it. But this time, and the same with the other place I'd gone to, I didn't stigmatize it. I didn't put any guilt on it. I didn't put any shame on it. It was just something I really wanted to eat that day. And I thought, okay, I'm going to eat it. I ate it and it was done. And same with the last thing. It was just something I really, really wanted that day. It's something I've been craving for a while. I didn't put any stigma on it. I didn't shame myself. I didn't feel guilty about it. And I haven't craved it since. Knock wood, just in case. But I took that off of me. I took that shame off of the food. And by doing that, I helped kind of resolve in my emotional eater's mind, you don't need this to be happy. Yes, it's something that tastes good. Yes, it's something you were craving. Yay for that moment of having it. But it passed because I didn't stigmatize the food. So, guys, we need food to survive. So don't stigmatize your stacks. Just portion control if you can. All right, so this is the magical messages from the fairies deck. Travel. An upcoming trip proves to be life-changing in positive ways. That's interesting. So if any of you are going on a trip, look for your signs. But yeah, an upcoming trip proves to be life-changing in positive ways. I don't know who that's for. I feel like it kind of hit me between the eyes, but not really. So maybe it means something down the road. Although I am traveling to Comic-Con this summer. I wouldn't really call that traveling. I'm driving down the freeway for about 100 miles. And then poof, there it is. But yeah. And look, I love how pretty that card is. So, this card shows that you'll soon be traveling to an important destination where you'll learn and grow through new experiences and discoveries. Perhaps you'll watch a spiritual power place Perhaps you'll visit a spiritual power place such as Machu Picchu or Stonehenge. Oh, I've been to Stonehenge. Or you may go to a location where you'll meet a significant person or even find your new place of residence. Be open to your heart's inner stirrings about travel and ask the fairies to help you with the finances and details. Most of all, enjoy yourself on your journeys. For anybody doubting that they can ever do anything, I would like you to know that I put a trip together, and I wasn't sure how I was going to fund it, but I put a trip together in 2 months to go to England. Okay, I bought theater tickets in December. January, I bought my plane ticket. towards the middle of February, I got my Airbnb, and the very first week of March, well, 9 days into March, I was on my way. So believe it can be done. Trust, believe, and have faith. Any kind of doubt, any kind of doubt is going to kill that. Any kind of doubt is going to kill that. But if you feel an inkling to go somewhere, do it. And whatever is going to happen is going to happen. It could be life-changing in the way that you just said, hey, you know what? You might look back on it and go, whoa, I did that. Which can be life-changing for many, because I'm not really considered a very spontaneous person. I want to be. I try to be. But I always let this doubt get into my head. So don't let that doubt get into your head. Just trust it and believe it and go for it. I will tell you one thing, and I forget about this all the time, but one of the most, I don't know if it would be really considered profound or what. I mean, I went to a lot of amazing places when I was in England. I mean, one of my friends took some time off and tooled me around to all these different places. They showed me where they went to school, like their boarding school. They took me through Avebury, which I loved so much because you can actually touch the stones there. They took me to Stonehenge. They took me to this great little town called Beckhampton, where I had lunch at the Wagon and the Horses. Best fish and chips I've ever had in my life, okay? I went to some place in London. No, it was a touristy spot. Not my favorite place. It was okay, but it tasted like fish and chips I can get at home. But, here. But, and I got a lot of stories. And the people were so nice, and they were so excited that I was just having the best time at their place. They even let me take a picture behind the bar and pretend like I was pouring beer. It was amazing, right? Totally amazing. But, a little bit of gratitude and appreciation can go a long way. But the most amazing thing, and it's sticking in my head right now, when I was getting off the plane, when we arrived at Heathrow, 3 guys get off the plane, and they're just ahead of me, and they caught my eye because one of them came barreling past me, and he says, "I can't believe we just did this." And another one answered him, because they were all in college, and I guess it was winter break. They had spontaneously gotten a great airfare and were literally jumped on a plane to England. They had planned their trip the day before they left. And I left on a Wednesday. They were there from Wednesday, and I believe they were going like, we're going to be so tired on Monday when we go back to school, but it was the most amazing thing. And all I could think of was, when I was their age in my 20s, I wish I had done things like that. I wish I had had the opportunities to do these things. But they didn't think about it. They just did it. See? Thank you, Shannon. Oh, good morning, Shannon. Shannon says, "I love traveling. We're getting an exchange student in August." Ooh, that's exciting. "And we're going to Vegas for a work conference." Oh, how fun. See? Spontaneous trips are the best. See? And she's right. Spontaneous trips are the best. Sometimes it's fun if there's a really long one to plan things out, but sometimes it's fun to just jump in the car and see where it takes you. And I know gas is expensive, but you know what? Budget that out. Okay? Budget that out. And, because if we stay stuck in our homes, worried about how much gas is going to be, no one's going to go anywhere. Gas is crazy around the world right now. I know I have friends in the UK complaining about it. I have friends in Europe that are complaining about it. It just sucks everywhere. It just sucks everywhere. But don't give in and not do fun things. So, so here's additional meanings. You'll be traveling in your new career. Your life purpose involves taking people on tours or holidays. That'd be fun. I'd make a great tour guide. Go camping or hiking. Revive your relationship with a loved one with a vacation. Take a retreat to renew your soul and spirit. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. That's what I did when I went to England. Take a retreat to renew your soul and spirit. That's Comic-Con, baby. That is Comic-Con. That is Comic-Con for me. 1 billion people? Probably not as much this year because they didn't have badge sales and some people gave up their badges, but 1 zillion people. But it is one of my supreme happy places, and people know that must be true because I am not a fan of crowds. I know I love Disneyland, but I'm not a fan of crowds. So but it's my happy place. You know, me and 100, 200,000 other nerds and geeks. So, anyways, let's see. All right, this is our last deck, the New Orleans deck. I love this deck. It is going to be a fixture of Friday Oracles for a long time because I love the vibrant cards. I love the artwork. I love the messages behind these Oracle cards. So, there we go. All right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Shannon's talking to me. Yeah, 100% girl. Message me or let me know on here if you have my phone number. Because if you don't, I will text it to you, cousin. So, oh, look at this card. New beginnings. New beginnings. How exciting. You have travel, which could mean new beginnings. The other cards we had talked about within a few weeks. Oh, this one made me excited. Ooh, that one's resonating. New beginnings. Chapter 1, right? Chapter 1. Yes, okay, for sure. So anyway, sorry. Sidetrack. Squirrel. But, so Lafayette Cemetery. I know people are thinking, why is there a cemetery on a card that says new beginnings? Well, if you believe in spiritual journeys, ta-da! But not only that, life changes. Whether you're burying someone or, well, I guess whether you're burying someone, because I'm not sure if people in the afterlife can see this. But life can change. But with death comes rebirth. With death comes new life. And it's not always about the literal sense of a cemetery. Maybe you've been on a journey and you finally come to the end. You know, you've buried that part of your life. You've let go of that part of your life. It's in your past now. And it's time for new beginnings. It's time for your chapter 1. You know, it doesn't matter how many volumes you have, okay? If you're happy in your volume 1, it could be chapter whatever. But it means you're in a new part of your life. It's a new beginning. It's the chance of new possibilities of everything. So it's not so much about, just to me, it's not, what I'm hearing right now is it's not just so much about this cemetery as much as it is that it's the end of something and the beginning of something new. So it's time to embrace it. It's time to let go of that fear because you've moved past that. Don't let all the things that used to anchor you in life that you have healed continue to anchor yourself. You don't need those anchors. You're always going to find a way to make sure that when your boat needs to be still, it will be still. When you need to take a beat and just take a deep breath, that you will have that ability to do that without something reattaching itself and trying to pull you back into your past. Moving forward, it is so hard, but it's possible. It's doable. You know, I had the very good fortune of knowing somebody who was in AA recovery. And I didn't get to know her as long as I would have loved to have known her, but she became like a second mom to me, and she was one of the most beautiful human beings I'd ever met. And I didn't know her when she was going through her struggles. But when I think about her now, Mom Barbara, when I think about her now, she's older sibling's mom. I think about how every day she could have been faced with temptation. Every Sunday, because she was a well-known jazz pianist, however you say it. And every Sunday they had a jazz brunch in LA. I mean, literally surrounded by people having brunch, drinking mimosas, drinking cocktails. And I'm sure she struggled from time to time up there, but she faced it with dignity and grace. And she faced it too with the support of her only child, you know, and the people that loved and cared about her, which I was fortunate enough to be called one of them. She called me her other daughter. I mean, other people that had known her for years were like, she did? I mean, I sense jealousy sometimes, not bragging, but we just clicked. We just connected. And I loved her stories, and I still miss her. And I wish I had more time with her. Physically had more time with her. Obviously I'm doing these, so I can tap in. But there was just something very magical about Barbara McNair that just, there will never be a person like her again. Unless she's reincarnated. So, new beginnings, okay? Just allow for new beginnings. She showed me that when you put your mind to something, anything is possible. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that have shown me that, but I think she's showing me that now. Because I was just talking about having, an emotional eating disorder. And people who have, struggles with addiction of any sort. And mine was food. But I think what she's trying to show me is that, when you don't focus so much and put so much shame on something, and you learn to forgive yourself, it helps you move forward. It helps you remind yourself of what you are capable of, and to live every day to its fullest. We lost her on an operating table in a very simple procedure. And I feel like, in my personal opinion, she was ready. She was ready. It's hard to accept in the beginning, but she was ready. But even from that, I take, she chose her time, which to me is very magical. And I feel like my mom did the same. She chose her time. But each one of those women, each two people that I called mom, taught me to live life to its fullest. Don't leave any stone unturned. Don't leave any, feeling left unspoken. Just do it. Just be brave and do it. Right? There's an actor whose quote, I actually keep it on my phone because I am, like I said, I'm one of these people that really, really wants to be spontaneous, but I have the anchor of fear always holding me back. Like, well, what if? That what if anchor. Oh, fuck that what if anchor. Okay, sorry. But it just says, feel the fear, give it a little home, and do it anyway. Okay, feel that fear, give it a little home, and do it anyway. And I love that quote. It's a variation of, very famous quotes from lots of different people. But that's the way it works for this person. And it it's so profound that it ends up in my Twitter feed every so often, and it's not even him posting it. It's just somebody randomly saying, oh, I felt this today, and remember this quote? And it's like, oh, God, yeah, that's right. It like hits you upside the head, reminding you, give it a little home. But you know what? I'm going to add to that. Don't give it a permanent home. Give it a tiny little piece, like an overnight stay. Okay, give it an overnight stay and send it packing while you head off in the other direction, away from the fear and doing what it is. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's okay. There was a question yesterday on Twitter that said, what's the advice? What advice would you give to someone in their 20s? And I just put on there the one thing I wish I had done. Don't be afraid of everything. Do it anyways. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that is okay. And that's what we need to remember. If it doesn't work, it's okay. Because you tried. Because you faced that fear. And you did it anyway. And sometimes things just aren't meant to work out in that moment. It might work out later. But at least you tried it. Right? So new beginnings. This is our very last card. So listen close. The word cemetery is usually associated with loss and gloom. However, in every ending, there is also a new beginning. You have picked this card because within your recent difficulties and endings, there is also a very bright new beginning that is more attuned to your highest good. It can be easy to get lost in counting the ways things have fallen apart, but the universe has already begun piecing together a better experience for you. If you're ready to embrace it, rather than focus... Okay, can I try this again? I'm so sorry, you guys. The word cemetery is usually associated with loss and gloom. However, in every ending, there is also a new beginning. You have picked this card because, within your recent difficulties and endings, there is also a very bright new beginning that is more attuned to your highest good. It can be easy to get lost in counting the ways things have fallen apart, but the universe has already begun piecing together a better experience for you if you're ready to embrace it. Rather than focus on the obvious and negative, it is time to see how you have been released from what has been holding you back and to explore all the new positive possibilities that have been created by this shift. So, again, let go of whatever it is that you feel is holding you back. because you're never going to move forward if you anchor yourself to the ground. You know, think about, I've seen this, and I've never seen anyone I know do this, but I've seen sometimes when, you go out into more of the rural farm areas. Like, I don't want to say rural. I mean, I live in California. How rural does anything really get out here? But sometimes you'll see dogs that are kind of, they're hooked to a chain in the yard. I know, it just bugs me when people do that. But sometimes, they have to, maybe they're training. I don't know, whatever reason. I can't judge because it'll just, it's not my place. But you'll see a dog chained to a pole. Do they look happy? No. If they do, there's probably something wrong with them. But I've never seen a dog that has been chained to a specific radius, like maybe an 8-foot radius, and all they can do is go in circles. They can't go any farther than that, maybe that however long that chain extends, because they're anchored, they're stuck. And dogs like to be free. Dogs like to be happy. Animals like to be free and happy. And that's like people. Why would you chain yourself to a post? And I say that because if you are allowing fear or all the what ifs in the world to hold you back, you have chained yourself to a post. You've given yourself a radius to walk in circles. And that's it. To do all the things that you just, where everything is just out of your arm's reach. And maybe the key is in your pocket to let yourself go, but you're afraid. So, feel the fear, give it a little home, and then do it anyway. Right? Do it anyway. And I'll put that quote in the comments so you can see it. But I think it's a very extraordinary quote. And it, like I said, it's a play on other quotes that I've heard. I believe Eleanor Roosevelt had a very, very similar quote. But, it's usually feel the fear and do it anyway. So just think about that. Everything in this reading today was talking about new beginnings, spontaneity, going out there, freeing yourself, sometimes you have to forgive yourself in order to move forward. Look for your signs. Meditate if you need the answers. Meditation came up a lot today too. And it will improve your health. And you may think, oh, Shelly Marie, how's that going to improve my health? Stress causes high blood pressure. Or it's one of the things that adds to high blood pressure. Can also cause heart disease. Can cause bad heart function. It can cause weight gain. Stress can cause weight gain. Most of this stuff that you carry right in the middle, that's all stress. This is all stress. But when you choose to stop looking at yourself like you're the enemy, and you start looking at yourself like you're the ally, things are going to change. When you learn to forgive yourself for whatever it is you feel you've done wrong, things are going to change. When you learn to love yourself the way you should love yourself, and respect yourself and enjoy your company, things are going to change. And they're going to change for the better because you're believing in yourself, you're having faith in yourself, and you're trusting yourself. And remember, it's like I said a little bit earlier, you are the one person that you will spend your entire life with. Even if you marry someone and you're married for 1 billion years, they're not with you 24/7, but you are. You're with yourself 24/7, 365 or 6, depending on the year. So, wouldn't it stand to reason that you're the one person that you should be the kindest to? Give yourself a little bit of slack. Not hold yourself to such high standards that even you can't meet them. If there's certain things you want to do in life, we can set goals. But to me, goals and standards are different. Goals are things that you want to accomplish. Standards are things that you set for yourself, because you think it might help. And maybe for some people it does. But for people who struggle with indignant mental health, not always the case. Like I said, everyone's different. I can't speak for everybody. I have set standards for myself, and I have fallen flat on my face every time. And every time I fell flat on my face, I felt worse and worse about myself. And this morning I did a magic reading. I think it was magic number 27, called the Magic Mirror. And it was a reminder to look at yourself and to be grateful. You know, and I am grateful. I'm grateful that my heart, even though I have not treated my body the best, is still functioning and doing very well, that I'm still healthy. I'm grateful that my valve, you know, I mean, it's what it regurgitates. So when I overexert, even when I'm thin, the valve doesn't always close right away. So some of the blood does come back. So it makes me short of breath. But, you know, there are a million things I can find wrong with that. But I won't, because there's still a lot more things I can do that other people can't do. I know people who have had my particular heart defect, congenital heart defect, that did not make it to their, you know, did not make it out of their teens. And here I am. I'm 49, I'm breathing, I'm alive, and I'm grateful for that. And I think it's damn time that we all sit in front of the mirror and start being grateful for ourselves. Let today be your new beginning. If you have struggled with your self-image, if you struggled with your body image, if you struggled with your body positivity, or anything about you that you've struggled with, maybe it's your journey, maybe it's your path, this is your sign. We had a card earlier, it said look for signs. This is your sign. All right, this is your new beginning. You could make the choice today to move forward in the direction that you want to move forward in. It may not be easy. It may not be hard, but that's up to you. It's all perspective. Sometimes things that we think are hard are trying to teach us lessons. If you go with the flow and learn the lesson, it will not be that hard. Take that from experience. I'm a class A resistor. I'm a recovering resistor. How about that? So, just go with the flow. Okay. Embrace your new beginnings. And, you know, go out there and enjoy the day. It's Friday. It's the weekend. It's the weekend. It's the weekend. So go out there and enjoy it. You know, if it's raining outside and it's safe, and by that I mean no lightning, I'll go dance in the rain. I miss that. You know, we don't get enough rain out here. And when we do, it's so damn cold. It's just kind of like you don't want to dance in the rain. We could really use some summer rain in California, especially Southern California, but California as a whole. So if you're listening, powers that be, give us some rain. All right. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I will see everybody back here Monday. Hodgepodge Monday will be day 4 of gratitude. Okay. We'll go over that one and we'll talk about the quote for a bit. So I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching. I know Oracle Fridays tend to go pretty long, so thank you for hanging in there. Listen to the messages again. You know, like I said, if they don't resonate, don't try to force them, but if you're not sure, that means maybe down the road it will make sense to you. Okay. Have a great, great weekend, everybody. Thank you again so much for watching. I will see you here Monday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's California time. Facebook Live. It is public. Anybody can watch under Shelly Marie Lucas, or you can watch it on the replay on YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas. Have a great, great day, and thank you so much for watching.